Breaking on 4 News now at 6, Spokane City Council members are now calling for a criminal investigation into the possible misuse of funds to help the homeless. How much, they say, could be missing.
The weekend haze is clearing out, but we have even more wildfire smoke moving in. I'll let you know when it's expected to clear out in your first alert forecast.
And this 5-year-old has been missing for weeks. We'll explain how this family is now stepping up efforts to track him down. You're watching 4 News now at 6. We start with breaking news tonight. One of Spokane's homeless service providers could be at the center of a criminal investigation. Good evening, I'm Aaron Luna. The city says money may have been mishandled by an employee of the Guardians Foundation. Coeur is in studio tonight with the latest. Rania.
Aaron, the Guardians Foundation, who operates the Cannon Street and Tread shelters, tells me they became aware something was not right back in March based on their audit. While the CEO of the Guardians Foundation would not give me an exact number, they told me they believe anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million was stolen by that employee. The employee being accused is no longer working at the Guardians Foundation as the investigation continues. CEO Mike Shaw explains they informed the city of Spokane after conducting an internal investigation of their own, and the Guardians reported it to the Spokane Police Department's crime check number as a theft. That call was made September 29th.
Fortunate that people in trust do things that just are appalling. Quite frankly, the only word I can come up with is pure evil. I see no other reason for it.
While the city did not respond to our request for an interview, they sent us this statement, which says, in part, that Mayor Nadine Woodward has ordered an internal audit of invoices submitted to the city by the Guardians and payments made to the organization. That fact-finding inquiry is underway, and the city will provide any evidence of irregularities to law enforcement. The Spokane Police Department told me they plan to start a criminal investigation. The city of Spokane does provide funding to the Guardians Foundation, but since there's a possibility federal funding was stolen, this could become a federal investigation. Aaron?
Rania, thank you. More breaking news near Sandpoint. Bonner County Sheriff's officials say the city of Dover is without water until further notice. About 800 people live in Dover, and there are a lot of cabins and vacation rentals in that area. Deputies say potable drinking water is available at City Hall. People living in Dover should bring their own containers, and water is limited to 5 gallons per person. Winds are picking up across the inland northwest. It's helping clear out the wildfire smoke coming from the east, but it won't last long. We'll send it over to Chris Crocker to see how this could impact our air quality. Chris.
Well, we are switching out the smoke that has been trapped at the surface from the Kootenai Complex fire in exchange for some smoke coming in from the west, from the Cascades. Our wind speeds across the region right now, 15 mile per hour sustained in Spokane, 8 mile per hour sustained in Coeur d'Alene. We'll see those winds dying down later this evening and becoming light overnight. Meanwhile, here's a look at our smoke forecast. Again, with those westerly winds, we'll bring in some wildfire smoke from the west. Here's 10 o'clock tonight. However, that will start to clear out then as a northerly flow will develop around the region, and we should wake up tomorrow morning with clearer conditions across the region after they deteriorate overnight. Our temperatures, meanwhile, right now are in the 60s in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, and Bonners Ferry. It's 67 in Pullman. We're in the 70s in Lewiston, as well as Omak and Moses Lake. Tomorrow will be cooler than it has been the past few days, with a high of 70. But look at our average high is 61. Looking at blue skies and sunshine tomorrow. I'll be back with your 7-day outlook after the break. Aaron?
Thank you, Chris. More breaking news tonight. A wrong-way driver on an interstate in Phoenix killed 2 18-year-old girls from Clarkston this morning. Police say the wrong-way driver hit a vehicle carrying Abriana Hoffman and Maggie Ogden. A third 19-year-old from Hawaii also died after the crash. The 3 girls who died shared a dorm at Grand Canyon University. Police say the wrong-way driver hit 3 other cars, and that driver was taken to a hospital. No word yet on whether that driver was impaired when the crash happened. Election day now just a few weeks away. The news team here at KXLY is hard at work for you. We're reaching out to candidates and asking the tough questions so you can be informed about this election. The big Senate race is heating up between Democratic incumbent Patty Murray and Republican Tiffany Smiley. Another big local race will have an impact on crime in our communities. It's between Republican Larry Haskell and Deb Conklin, who is not affiliated with a party. We know you have questions for these candidates, and we want to hear from you. You can submit your questions anytime online at our website, kxly.com/forthepeople. We'll take your questions straight to the candidates. You can also find a complete voter guide on our website, including how to register to vote. Expect some changes to local parks in Spokane. Over the summer, the Parks and Rec Department approved a new reinvestment plan. Cali Park is one of the areas the Parks Department wants to transform with its plan. It's near Sacred Heart Children's Hospital. In recent years, it's been known for the 4 News Now Making Spirits Bright light show. Minnehaha Park is also undergoing a transformation. Park officials want it to be similar to Manitou Park, with more activities in the northeast Spokane area. And a new park called Meadow Glen is going in.
Really, we're taking on the leverage, just another chapter from 2008 and 2010. We focused on aquatic centers, splash pads, athletic fields like Dwight Merkle Sports Complex. 2014, we focused on Riverfront Park and the redevelopment of Riverfront Park. So this plan is now, our focus is to neighborhood parks. And this is really the start of what in the conversation is on that next big investment package looks like potentially for our park system.
Parks and Rec is holding an open house right now. It's at Mullen Road Elementary. They want to get feedback from the public on several dog park options. Another open house on dog park ideas will be held at the Talbot Event Center. That's Wednesday evening. A Yakima boy went to a park with his family and never came home. This is Lucian Magia. He vanished a month ago, and his family's now intensifying efforts to find him. Esther Bauer shows us the new approach.
Aaron, his family is now offering a $10,000 reward if anyone comes forward with information that helps them find him. Since he disappeared, they have not stopped putting up flyers and running statewide searches to bring Lucian back home. No one's heard this laugh in a month.
It's the most horrible thing I think anyone could ever experience.
Lucian Mangia is autistic and mostly nonverbal. He was last seen on September 10th at Sarg Hubbard Park in Yakima, wearing this blue tie-dyed shirt and blue shorts. For days, divers searched waterways near the park with no signs of a body.
They called off their search 3 days into him being missing, so now everything is pretty much being led by family.
Family members are posting these flyers all over the state and now searching on their own.
This is really any family's worst nightmare, and our family's living it every day now. So we're just doing our best to support each other and continue getting his name out there, his face out there.
His family says he's about 4 feet tall and weighs 40 pounds. He doesn't have any noticeable birthmarks except a small freckle under his left eye.
With each passing day, it gets harder as the days go by to hold on to the fact that we are going to see him again.
Their efforts are drawing crowds. This public Facebook group now has over 7,000 followers. They're using social media to post updates and get the word out.
One flyer is what could end up making a difference.
Sarah Bailey hopes she'll get to see her nephew again.
He's just such a loving little kid.
Until then, she's keeping his story alive. Wow! And keeping her faith they'll bring Lucian back home. And Sarah is on her way to Yakima right now to start another search in the area. Lucian was 4 years old when he vanished. He just turned 5 a few days ago. Now you can learn more about the new reward and what's next in the search. We have a link to that public Facebook group up on kxly.com. Aaron?
Esther, thank you. The federal government wants to crack down on speeding. We'll explain how a new piece of tech could force you to slow down no matter how hard you press on the gas. And multiple parts of Ukraine are without power and running water tonight. Russian troops bombing parts of the country. We'll explain what Vladimir Putin says led to the missile attacks next on 4 News Now at 6.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Save your greed!
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
I seem to be having a problem with my heat. It seems to be making this sound.
Oh, no worries. We can certainly take care of that for you. At Mainstream Heating and Cooling, we speak your language.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
Spokane Tribe Casino's latest expansion is ready for you to enjoy. With double the square footage, there's no shortage of fun. Try one of the over 300 new slot games and have a bite to eat at the just opened Grill and Bar restaurant. There's even a larger non-smoking area. You can also bet on all your favorite teams at Caesars Sportsbook, now open. Steal your share of Frankenstein fortunes every Saturday this October. He's got $60,000 cash, and your piece is waiting. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
My son's name was Carson. He was just the light of my life. His anxiety and his inability to sleep caused him to purchase a pill from Snapchat, and we know that it's what killed him. Congresswoman McMorris Rogers is bringing awareness to this. She personally reached out to me. She took the time to hear Carson's story. She has been driven in trying to prevent further loss.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
Watch 4 News Now as the Extreme Team upgrades the Carl Maxey Center. What we're going to do is go in and get into the next phase of operation. That's going to be a new library. There's going to be a place in back. There's going to be a nice patio. Watch 4 News Now's Extreme Team, sponsored by Horizon Credit Union.
Well, what you just heard was family singing the Ukrainian national anthem in the subway while they took shelter from new Russian attacks. Russia launched several rockets across the nation, killing at least 11 civilians and hurting even more. Experts say this is the biggest and broadest attack in recent months. ABC's Justin Finch explains what could be behind the attack and how the U.S. and its allies are responding.
In Ukraine Monday, Russian forces firing off several missile strikes. Ukraine's President Zelensky saying Russia deliberately targeted civilian areas in the early hours to inflict as much harm as possible. From Dnipro in the southeast to this playground in Ukraine's capital city. ABC's Britt Clinett in Kyiv.
This is the biggest attack on the capital since the beginning of the war and the first attack on the city center, making this a clear escalation.
Russian President Vladimir Putin calling his escalation a response to the explosion Saturday on the strategic Kerch Bridge, the longest in Europe, linking mainland Russia to Crimea, which the Kremlin illegally annexed in 2014.
That seems a very clear indication that he not only supported, but essentially ordered these attacks on civilian infrastructures.
Ukraine not taking responsibility for the bridge blast, which could significantly harm Russia's war effort.
This was really the only way to get supplies into their troops.
The U.S. joining growing global condemnation of the strikes. Hundreds of Ukrainians seeking shelter in subway stations, singing as the missiles fell. Ukraine denouncing Russia's attacks on non-military targets.
They are targeting civilian infrastructure. Of course, we've had also strikes at the infrastructural objects such as power plants, and our emergency services and our government is doing everything to recover quickly.
An emergency meeting of the G7 group of nations is now set for tomorrow. Ukraine's President Zelensky is scheduled to speak and is expected to request more military support and urge the members to increase pressure on Russia. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Well, new tonight at 6 o'clock, new tech may be on the way that could force new cars to slow down and what some experts say could save tens of thousands of lives a year. It's called speed limiter technology. It's currently being tested on 50 of New York City's fleet vehicles. The way it works is your car would know the speed limit based on your location and won't let you go above it.
Pressing the pedal, but you see actually the numbers going down.
Federal data shows there were more than 20,000 deaths on our roads in the first half of the year. It is one reason why, in its latest safety recommendation, the NTSB is calling on the federal government to start incentivizing car makers that put speed limiters in their cars.
We have to remember these aren't just numbers.
Many people think this tech goes too far.
Somebody's in the fast lane driving too slow, then to me that causes more accidents than driving faster.
It feels kind of intrusive and invasive.
I think from a regulatory standpoint, I think it might be overstepping some bounds.
Another one of the NTSB's recommendations include cracking down on impaired driving, which would require all new vehicles to have an alcohol impairment detection system.
High temperature today, 74 degrees, 61 is our average high. We do have some cooler weather coming in for tomorrow, but we're going to be nowhere near the lower 60s. I'll explain after the break.
Attention hikers, bikers, and horseback riders. Public access is prohibited on Antoine Peaks Tower Road from Robbins Road to the summit, October 10th through the 14th for erosion control work. Use caution and watch for heavy equipment. Thanks for your cooperation. Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Fairway Floor.
It's time for a new shower, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
I proudly served our nation and fought for freedom abroad. I never expected to see our temple of democracy ransacked here at home. It's so dangerous that MAGA Republicans, like Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate for U.S. Senate, Tiffany Smiley, continue to question the 2020 election. Their big lie is a direct threat to our elections and our democracy. Join me in defending America. Say no to Tiffany Smiley before it's too late.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
It says here, United Healthcare has America's most chosen Medicare plans and local Medicare plan experts.
They'll even find you a plan with good dental coverage.
How do you know?
Scott, my local Medicare plan expert. He helped me find the right plan.
With benefits including prescription, drug, vision, and dental coverage, our Washington team is ready to help you find a Medicare plan that meets your needs and budget.
Talk to a local Medicare plan expert today at 1-888-SHOP-UHC.
Vote with confidence this November. In Washington, our layered cybersecurity systems, trained officials, and election audits make sure every vote is counted accurately. After you've received your ballot packet in the mail, fill it out and send it back in your signed return envelope. You can also put it in an official Dropbox or submit it in person. Visit votewa.gov to register, find voting locations, and check your ballot status.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of certified used or new SUVs and trucks just in time for the winter months, plus get up to 60 months low interest financing, then come on down to Finley for a touchdown of savings.
It's time for a new shower, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
I could do without the wildfire smoke in the region, and looks like tomorrow morning we may begin to clear out a little bit. Mostly clear but hazy tonight. We're actually bringing more wildfire smoke in from the west. 45 degrees for an overnight low. The winds helping to keep the temperatures up just a little bit. Sunny and warm tomorrow with a high temperature of 70. Our mid and upper level winds coming from the north will hopefully clear out some of the smoke that we bring in overnight. Here's a look at the fires and the smoke around the region. A lot of this elevated, not right at the surface, but we have a number of fires still burning in the Cascades, plus some other smaller regional fires. The Kootenai complex still putting out a lot of smoke. High pressure has acted like a lid on a pot, keeping that fire or that smoke trapped down in the valleys. but we're starting to see those winds scour out some of that smoke and disperse it into higher levels of the atmosphere. Our air quality right now around the region is primarily in the moderate range. There are a couple of trouble spots, including right around the Newport and Old Town area. But as we get into the overnight, our winds die down. Some of that smoke will resettle at the surface. Hopefully a more meaningful switch in our winds will help clear that out by tomorrow. Here's what's going on. We had a cold front come through this evening. That is going to drop our temperatures just a little bit. We're still going to be well above average, but slightly cooler than it has been. And we'll have more of a northerly flow setting up overnight. Here's our forecast for the upper level winds. We are again on the eastern edge of a ridge of high pressure that helps hopefully bring in some fresher air from Canada overnight and into tomorrow morning. Then high pressure begins really building back in as we get into Tuesday evening and Wednesday. That is going to set us up for another several days of above average temperatures with sunny skies, clear, cool mornings, and depending on the behavior at the fire themselves, will allow that smoke to start building up again in our atmosphere. Meanwhile, overnight lows tonight with that breeze that keeps temperatures from dropping quite as cold as they would otherwise, but we'll still get down in the 30s in Bonners Ferry and Sandpoint, about 5 degrees above average in Spokane at 45, 34 in Colville. High temperatures tomorrow primarily in the 70s in eastern Washington. Pullman an exception at 66, and we'll be in the 60s through North Idaho. Your 7-day forecast, our high of 70 tomorrow. That's as cool as it gets. And then we drop down to 42 Wednesday morning. May have some frost in some of the outlying areas, most likely places you've already had a freeze. And then we are in the 70s through another spectacular weekend and right on into early next week. I'm looking for cooler weather in the 8 to 14 day forecast, Aaron. I'll let you know what I find in the next half hour.
I'm curious to see that. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Well, today is National Indigenous Peoples Day, honoring cultures and histories of Native Americans in the U.S. Spokane Public Schools is building a supportive system to help Indigenous students thrive. Joining us in studio, Peter Choi explains how this program has been a safe space for Indigenous students at school.
Yeah, according to Spokane Public Schools' recent data, in 2020, Native American students have a lower graduation rate compared to students overall. Now, in 2021, the graduation rate among Native Americans are up 7%, but still lower than students overall. Now, Spokane Public Schools want to fix this by creating a space called Native Education to help Indigenous students to thrive in their learning at school.
Me and my kids having the opportunity to express ourselves culturally in the schools, that is a victory for us.
Growing up for Tanisha Rattler, heartbreaking stories of Indigenous Americans have been part of her life. And seeing her child getting bullied at school because of who they are was difficult.
A lot of them came back a little bit hurt, like really affected negatively.
Then the program called Native Education, part of federal law Title VI, was a turning point for her family.
Well, this program is very important for our students, so we can acknowledge who they are as a whole person, and our cultural aspect of ourselves has been very important, and it's been something that has been taken away from us through the education system.
The school officials say the program is an opportunity to teach students to reclaim their roots with their friends at school.
Want to come to school with their braids, they want to wear ribbon skirts, they joined the drum group and they sang out loud and they danced what they had their friends dancing.
The program also offers Indigenous students academic support, from reading a book to being able to graduate on time.
We're still here and we're still going, and this is a circle and we're never going to stop. We're just going to keep going. We're still here. That's it.
And the program coordinator says learning should continue, even on days outside Indigenous Peoples Day. If you'd like to get involved in this program, you can find that information on our website, kxly.com. Live in studio, Peter Choi,
4 News Now.
Thank you, Peter. After months of planning, construction on the new library at the Carl Maxey Center has started. Coming up, Mark Peterson shows us how they're going above and beyond to honor the center's late founder. And a new feature on the iPhone 14 is causing new problems. We'll show you what's happening to people who take their new phones with them on a roller coaster.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
I've never liked political ads that attack, but we need to bring the facts to light. My opponent believes that Tent City has never caused an increase in crime. With Mr. Jordan, we can expect more crime, more taxes, and more regulations that make housing more expensive. I support safer neighborhoods, lower taxes, and addressing homelessness and housing. I support you, the hardworking people of Spokane, because like you, I'm one of them. Vote Kim, please, for County Commissioner.
If you've been looking for a new vehicle in the current market, you may be hearing things like extra charges, added accessories, or second sticker.
Not at Coeur d'Alene Honda. We make it easy.
We'll keep you posted till your new Honda arrives, give you a fair value for your trade, and give you a lifetime warranty at no additional cost to you.
Well, that was easy. Come meet the team and purchase your next vehicle at Coeur d'Alene Honda.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Call today for our available inventory and check out our website at cdahonda.com.
Providence has been focused on meeting the needs of the community for over 160 years, and we are honored to bring you top-rated Medicare Advantage coverage. Providence plans start at just $0 and include dental, hearing, and vision. Experience the difference of a community of care, united by compassionate coverage. Providence, join us as we make community stronger by building true health together.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
Brand new tonight at 6 o'clock, colonoscopies. They're a dreaded part of getting older and the best way to prevent colon cancer. A new study suggests showing up is half the battle. Less than half of the people invited to get a colonoscopy for the study actually went and got one.
For a screening test to work, you actually have to get screened.
When looking at the people in the study who actually received colonoscopies, it reduced the risk of colorectal cancer by 31%. It cut the risk of dying by 50%. And for folks nervous about getting screened,
no one is excited about it, but it's not really as bad as you think.
The American Cancer Society recommends that people start regularly screening for colorectal cancer at age 45. A Washington resident drove 1,500-pound pumpkin from her home to Tumwater, in Tumwater, to Half Moon Bay, which is in California, for the World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off. Third grade teacher Cindy Tobeck won the weigh-off in 2016, and she's back for more this year.
These take so much care, and they also take a lot of water, which I know is a challenge here in California. You know, I've got my own well at home, so unlimited free water is to my advantage over the California growers.
Tobeck says she gave each of her pumpkins 150 gallons of water a day. The winner of the competition receives $9 per pound for their pumpkin, and if someone breaks the world record of more than 2,700 pounds, they'll win $30,000. The average person gains 1 to 2 pounds every year. That's according to a new study published in the National Library of Medicine. But walking can help keep the weight off. A new study published today has found a magic number to keep you trim. 8,600 steps will prevent weight gain in adults, and 11,000 steps will prevent obesity in adults who are already overweight. But if you can't squeeze in a daily walk, the CDC says moving just 20 minutes a day is great for your health. If you bought the latest iPhone, you may want to leave it at home or in the car the next time you go to Silverwood because of new safety features here. There have been reports of the iPhone 14 calling 911 while on roller coasters because of its new car crash detection feature. Apple says to fix this issue, put your phone into airplane mode before getting on the ride. Find out what the bus driver did next that helped them locate the missing child in minutes. And the Seattle Mariners are set to play in their first division series in 21 years against a familiar foe. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti has the preview, and now they have fared so far this season against the Astros.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
92.9 CCU.
Healthy communities need more than health care. This is MultiCare. We're here for you.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids. Just drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate to Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Great Floors cares about keeping kids warm this winter and knows how important a good winter coat is. That's why Great Floors is proud to sponsor Coats for Kids. Drop your donations off at any of our Spokane or Coeur d'Alene Great Floors locations. Help us to make a difference for area kids and bring a coat to Great Floors today.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
Wait, what? Look who's coming live this week to America's favorite morning show. Tracy Ellis Ross live, John Stamos live, and the one, the only, Dwayne Johnson live.
That's right.
This week, all on ABC's Good Morning America.
Next ET, only we're with Gwen Stefani.
That's an ET exclusive, guys.
Her new voice collaboration, and Gwen's big musical plans for her husband, Blake Shelton.
I was actually kind of nervous.
Then we're with The Rock, dropping Black Adam bombshells.
These powers that rival that of Superman.
And
hey, ET, this is John Stamos, and I'm going to give you the exclusive.
Our exclusive on set of Big Shot Season 2, next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
For months, Mark Peterson and the Extreme team, alongside the center's founder, Sandy Williams, have been hard at work designing a new library and outdoor gathering space at the Maxey Center, and that's in East Spokane. Tragically, Sandy was one of the 10 people killed in a seaplane crash last month. Now, Mark and the rest of the team are honoring her memory. Let's send it over to Mark to see how day one of construction's going.
And it's been a very busy day. Horizon Credit Union's been inside, not only painting there and getting the primer on, getting ready for Rada's final paint, but also here, trying to get this done and make sure that we can get this painted tomorrow. Today, here's the big thing I've been waiting on. This is the addition of a patio, Dundee Concrete, and of course there's Tim with, again, mixed on site. Tim, wave, there you go. He's a little shy when it comes to the camera. This is the big addition that Sandy and I talked about that she really didn't think would happen immediately, but it's going to happen right now. So we're going to get this done with all the painting that's going on. PCI was in putting in the ceiling. We've got a lot to do Tuesday, but I tell you what, today we've had a great day. I'm Mark Peterson, 4 News Now Extreme Team at the Maxey Center.
This building was part of Sandy Williams' vision to offer resources to the surrounding neighborhood and promote racial equity and justice. We sent Jordan Smith down to the Maxey Center to learn more about this organization and more about what they hope to accomplish. Jordan.
Well, Aaron, the history behind this organization is just incredible. They transformed this building from a former auto shop into a place of opportunity for the black community. After being vacant for the better part of a decade, this once run-down building has undergone quite the transformation.
It used to be an old auto shop for a long time, and then it sat vacant for probably like 10 or 12 years.
But behind a dream and a vision, it was transformed into a building of opportunity.
Not everyone saw the vision, but Sandy did, so she, took it as an opportunity. It's like, half a block's worth of a building that could be used for something positive for this neighborhood.
During a backyard barbecue, Sandy Williams explained her idea. After some convincing, she got the green light to purchase the building and give the Carl Maxey Center a new home. This once empty building is now home to an abundance of resources for the black community.
In the short time we've been here so far, we've done a lot of rental assistance and offering people connection to resources.
Other resources include business development, legal assistance, and after the help of the Extreme team, a place for the youth to learn about technology and the arts.
Like the library and the art gallery were things that we didn't expect to get started until next year. And so seeing them sort of coming together quickly has been a good positive after all of this, to see that people really meant it when they said the vision would continue.
This organization hopes to institute a monthly art gallery featuring artists from the area. These two portraits of Sandy Williams have been dedicated to the center as a tribute to her legacy. And those portraits of course, John Maxey and, of course, Sandy Williams going to make great additions here to the art gallery. And what we will say is, since Sandy Williams' untimely passing in that boat plane crash, this organization has been doing everything they can to help fulfill that vision. One of their biggest dreams was to help advance education within the black community. And thanks to the 4 News Now Extreme team, they've been able to do a great job, and I put a great jump start in getting that done. Reporting here at the Maxey Center, I'm Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
A live look over downtown Spokane, a dark downtown Spokane. Our sunset over 20 minutes ago. A little bit of haze on the horizon as wildfire smoke continues to filter in. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be a breezy evening. Already, however, the winds are beginning to die down. It will be hazy overnight as wildfire smoke filters in late this evening. However, it looks like we will clear out a little bit tomorrow. 70s and sunshine tomorrow with no rain expected in the 7-day forecast and potentially beyond. High temperatures today around the region were in the 70s in most locations, 60s in Cheney and Spangle, but 75 in downtown and Spokane Valley. It was in the 70s in Coeur d'Alene. Temperatures right now are still in the 70s at 9 Mile, downtown Spokane and Spokane Valley. It's 69 out at the airport and in Liberty Lake as well as in Coeur d'Alene. Winds, as I mentioned, have died down a bit. It is breezy at the airport in Spokane and down in Pullman with 15-mile-per-hour winds and 13-mile-per-hour winds, but those winds will continue to die down. Expect a calmer day tomorrow. High temperature of 70. That's the big cool down behind our cold front. We're still almost 10 degrees above average, and we'll start warming up from there. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Thank you, Chris. Right now, the city is hosting its first of 3 meetings where people can share their opinion on where 3 new dog parks should be built in Spokane. The city wants them in the north, south, and east parts of the city. Officials say as of now, they only have funding from the school district to build the one on the South Hill. Once they come up with drafted guidelines, city park board members will decide their final locations. They hope to have all 3 built by next spring. The Washington State Cougars took the loss over the weekend down in Los Angeles and came back more banged up than they would have hoped. Alex Crescenti has a status update on a couple key players.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
Here at the Meade School District, energy management, it's been something that's been on the rise as far as what's important to us. The reason why is, as the budget continues to shrink, we need to do more with less. Yeah, I love Avista. They've been really great to work with. When I have energy efficiency ideas, I get in touch with my rep. They'll go back to their project managers and to the engineers. Avista does a really great job at telling you what the simple payback will be of any of the projects, and then you can make an educated decision on whether you want to move forward.
Get exactly what you want. Wendell Ford is ready to help you find that vehicle you've been wanting to buy. Built for you. F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Mach-E, and Maverick. Here's how it works. Make a list of options you want. Wendell will work with you on financing to fit your budget. And then we will order the vehicle of your dreams or select from current inventory. Get exactly what you want. Built for you. Wendell Ford at the Y. Drive for generations.
If you're turning 65 soon or over 65 and planning to retire, now's the time to learn more about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan from United Healthcare and get help protecting yourself from the out-of-pocket costs Medicare doesn't pay. Because the time to prepare is before you go on Medicare.
Don't wait. Get started today.
Call United Healthcare for your free decision guide.
My son's name was Carson. He was just the light of my life. His anxiety and his inability to sleep caused him to purchase a pill from Snapchat, and we know that it's what killed him. Congresswoman McMorris Rodgers is bringing awareness to this. She personally reached out to me. She took the time to hear Carson's story. She has been driven in trying to prevent further loss.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rodgers, and I approve this message.
The dark side of Barney.
I love you. You love me.
Next Inside Edition. The beloved kid show starring the purple dinosaur. I love you. You hate me? Then, wait till you see what all these people are waiting in line for first thing in the morning. Can you believe a $50 breakfast cereal? Watch the next Inside Edition. Watch 4 News now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
A frantic cries for help. This school bus was flagged down after a carjacker stole a vehicle with a toddler inside. The quick-thinking bus driver alerted other drivers by radio. Sue Figueroa spotted the 2-year-old on the side of the road, turns the bus around and rushes to help the child.
Come here, baby. I know.
Well, bringing the child onto the bus, wrapped in that blanket, determined to get her home safe. Minutes later, an emotional reunion.
Is this your baby? He's okay. He's okay.
Well, police say they were able to track down the vehicle. They're still looking for the suspects. The child was not hurt.
Terrifying, but happy ending, hopefully there. Here's a look at our time lapse of a smoky sunset over the inland northwest. We're looking south-southwest of the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, as well as the courthouse, and you can see that haze sort of filtering the hills in the background. Made for a beautiful sunset, but we are bringing in more wildfire smoke from the west, just as we are pushing out the wildfire smoke that has been trapped around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area from the Kootenai complex fires. Fires burning in the Cascades are sending smoke our way this evening. Here's our smoke forecast tonight, and we will continue to see that smoke filtering in this evening for hazy conditions as we get into the late evening. However, our wind pattern is shifting a little bit. Expect a northerly flow to develop in the overnight, and that may help push that new smoke right on out for a clearer start to the day tomorrow. Air quality has stayed in the moderate range, so at times you can smell it. I know it has been impacting some people. I've heard the tales, but it hasn't gotten into that unhealthy range around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene and isn't expected to. Here's a look at our radar and satellite. We missed out on any rain from this cold front that moved through, is now sagging off to our south and east. We're going to get just a little bit of a cool down tomorrow, but nowhere near average. Here's a look at our temperature trend over the next 7 days. Our high today, 74, so we're going to drop to 70 tomorrow, but here's our average high way down here at 61. By this time next week, our average high will be 57. way down here, but our high temperatures are going to stay in those mid to lower 70s right on through the 7-day forecast. 70s for 7 days, and it looks like our warm weather is going to continue. Here is a look at the outlook for October 18th through the 24th. That's our 8 to 14-day forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, and we are in those darker oranges and reds, indicating a very strong confidence that we are going to have above average temperatures. Precipitation, however, this is a little bit different. We're in the gray, indicating an equal chance of above or below precipitation. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. High pressure staying in control. So my hunch is we are going to be on the drier side of average for that time period. We certainly will for the next 7 days, as we are staying dry right on through the weekend and beyond. Another gorgeous weekend coming up. Meanwhile, overnight lows through the forecast, not quite down to average, even with our cooler weather on the way. 70 tomorrow, an overnight low tomorrow night of 42, and then we'll stay in the 40s through the 7-day outlook, Aaron.
Good to know. Thank you, Chris. With prices for just about everything continuing to rise, it's no surprise that many families plan on cutting back on their holiday spending this year. ABC's Becky Worley explains how this could lead to even bigger discounts.
This morning, a predicted pullback in spending from American shoppers this holiday season. It has retailers discounting products heavily and earlier.
So our expectation is, while the shopping season may start earlier with discounting, retailers are likely to respond with more aggressive discounts. And we've seen that in our data so far this year as we lead into the holiday season.
Adobe forecasts that computers will be up to 32% off. Last year, those discounts, just 10%. Toys, they say this year, 22% off. Apparel, 19% off. And appliances, 18% off.
They're extending the holiday shopping window so shoppers can space purchases out over time.
This year, Prime members get holiday deals before anyone else.
Case in point, Amazon launching its new fall shopping event tomorrow, promoting deals on Amazon-branded electronics and products from the likes of Hasbro, KitchenAid, and Samsung. Target just this morning announcing its weekly Black Friday deals.
Start your season of savings with Target Deal Days.
Live now, spend $50 on toys, get a $10 discount. And for gadget lovers, 10% off any one tech item. Walmart also holding a Rollbacks and More sales event from October 10th to 13th, discounting items like the new Apple Watch by $50 and price slashing toys like this Lego set that's almost half off.
Well, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's Bachelor in Paradise at 8, followed by The Good Doctor at 10 o'clock.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's nothing like a fresh coat of paint to transform a home, a room, or a piece of furniture. No matter the project, the folks at your local Ace Hardware store are here to help you with all your paint needs. With our wide selection of premium brand paints and accessories, the experts at Ace will make sure you have everything you need to complete your paint project, no matter how big or small. Come see us today.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
It says here, United Healthcare has America's most chosen Medicare plans and local Medicare plan experts.
They'll even find you a plan with good dental coverage.
How do you know?
Scott, my local Medicare plan expert. He helped me find the right plan.
With benefits including prescription, drug, vision, and dental coverage, our Washington team is ready to help you find a Medicare plan that meets your needs and budget.
Talk to a local Medicare plan expert today at 1-888-SHOP-UHC.
Watch 4 News Now as the Extreme Team upgrades the Carl Maxey Center. What we're going to do is go in and get into the next phase of operation. That's going to be a new library. There's going to be a place in back. There's going to be a nice patio. Watch 4 News Now's Extreme Team, sponsored by Horizon Credit Union.
I've never liked political ads that attack, but we need to bring the facts to light. My opponent believes that Tent City has never caused an increase in crime. With Mr. Jordan, we can expect more crime, more taxes, and more regulations that make housing more expensive. I support safer neighborhoods, lower taxes, and addressing homelessness and housing. I support you, the hardworking people of Spokane, because like you, I'm one of them. Vote Kim, please, for County Commissioner.
There are a lot of ways to deal with a stubborn drain. Call us at Mainstream Plumbing. Our high-definition LED camera can go where no plumber's gone before, deep inside your sewer lines to find the root of the problem. Call 866-411-ZAP.
4 News Now is brought to you by Sandpoint Furniture Carpet One.
It was a rough weekend for the Washington State Cougars. Not only did they take a loss to USC on Saturday night, they also came back a little shorthanded. Alex Crescenti here to break down some major pieces that are missing for the Cougs.
Yeah, it's bad enough when you drop a hard-fought game against a top 10 team on the road, but the team is also going to be shorthanded. 2 starters on offense for the foreseeable future. 7th-year wide receiver Renard Bell went down with an unspecified injury, most likely on a kick return in the first quarter. He was out of all 2021 with a torn ACL, and this is his last year of eligibility. And then late in the second quarter, running back Nakia Watson sustained a lower body injury, walking off on his own power. Head coach Jake Dickert says both players will be out for some time, but the good news is he expects them to return this season. However, in the meantime, their leadership is going to be needed.
Guys will step up. Ryan Peters showed that on Saturday, being ready to go. We'll start moving some guys around Lincoln, maybe slide back inside to have a role there, and Jalen, and then Katzer will be ready to go when called upon. So we'll be ready to attack that, and just excited about those guys and their demeanor and how they're handling little adversity, and our team will be ready to go on Saturday.
Not only will they be out, those 2 players, but also starting offensive lineman Grant Stevens for the first half against Oregon State this weekend. He was ejected for a targeting call in the 3rd quarter against USC. Dickert said this afternoon they went to appeal the ruling, but the call still stands. He added he thinks it's a rule that should be looked at.
As a defensive coach, I understand the rule, right? The crackback rule, when we protect offensive players. Why can offensive guys come back on a screen and just lay people out? As I see it, a guy that's almost sacking the quarterback. But that's the ruling, and that's what's going to happen. And
so Washington State will hit the road for one more game before their bye week, going up against an Oregon State team they haven't lost to since 2013. And when the Seattle Mariners clinched their spot in the postseason a couple of weeks ago, the manager Scott Service said they wanted more than just to get in. They were there to hang some banners. And over the weekend, they took a big step in doing so by sweeping the Toronto Blue Jays in the wild card round to advance to the division series. They now move on to the rival and #1 seed in the American League, Houston, where the Astros own a 12-7 advantage this season in their matchups. But the M's will have a fresh arm ready to go in Game 1, as Logan Gilbert was slated to go in Game 3 this weekend if needed, but now he's excited to make his postseason debut.
I've watched these games since I was little, grew up dreaming about playing in these games, and now we're here. So I'll take the mound tomorrow, and it'll be a dream come true. And I was just excited, thinking I might be thrown in Toronto and just waiting and, getting a little antsy because I want to be out there. And now finally getting my turn, it's just really special.
Game 1 is going to be an early one tomorrow. First pitch just after 12:30 in the afternoon, so make sure you plan accordingly. Get that work done at the office ahead of time. Aaron, I know we're not going to be procrastinating.
No procrastinating there. Thank you, Alex. Well, new tonight at 6 o'clock, major changes are on the way for how the NFL handles concussions. ABC's Morgan Norwood explains what they're doing to keep players safe and why some say it's not enough.
Several NFL players now sidelined after the league's new concussion protocol went into effect.
Heavy pressure.
On Sunday, Dolphins backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater taking a hard hit on his very first snap of the game, the team pulling him out. Then in New Orleans, Saints rookie Chris Olave taking a grisly hit on the gridiron, laying motionless on the field before also being taken out of the game. But it was this hit to Dolphins starting QB Tua Tagovailoa less than 2 weeks ago that triggered the changes to the way the league handles concussions. Tagovailoa sacked, his head slamming to the ground, his fingers spread wide and frozen in a response known as fencing.
That's a neurological response to head trauma.
Just 4 days earlier, taking this hit.
Oh, he's woozy.
The team saying it was a back injury and that Tagovailoa passed the concussion protocols, so he was sent back in the game a few snaps later.
When we all saw him stumbling on the field, the first question I always have is, would that doctor have put his son or his daughter back in the game?
An investigation finding that while concussion protocols as written at the time were followed, the outcome is not what was intended when the protocols were drafted. The League and Players Association now agreeing if a player has an abnormality of balance stability or motor coordination or dysfunctional speech, he will be prohibited from returning to the game.
If we think that someone may have suffered a brain injury, we want to make sure we keep them out of the game. And if we're going to make a mistake, we'd rather make a mistake on the side of being cautious.
But some argue the new rules don't go far enough to protect players.
They are giving the team doctor an extraordinary amount of latitude to decide whether or not somebody who shows concussion signs can go back in. The NFL protocol is very aggressive for getting people back on the field.
During yesterday's game, there was mention that Tagovailoa's scans have come back clean, but experts say head scans are not really useful when it comes to diagnosing concussions. He'll still have to go through the concussion protocol steps before returning to the field. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Stream 4 News now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
My husband has diabetes.
Even with health insurance, we're having a hard time affording our medications.
Thankfully, we have Patty Murray fighting for us in the U.S. Senate. She kept at it till Congress finally lowered the cost of prescription drugs.
And capped insulin for seniors at $35 a month.
Now we'll save thousands every year. We know when Patty is back in the other Washington.
She is working for us.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
Welcome back, Chief.
Dr. Murphy, you saved my life.
You're welcome.
I can do all the duties of chief surgeon.
You okay?
No.
The Good Doctor, new tonight on ABC.
I'm Jonah, and I'd like to welcome you to the brand new Coeur d'Alene Nissan. You'll find the grand dealership lobby open, comfortable, and relaxing. A service center with state-of-the-art equipment committed to getting you quickly and safely back on the road. There's much more to experience. I'm inviting you to stop in and see us. We're just off Highway 95 in Coeur d'Alene.
Bi-Mart's latest members-only savings book ends soon. Save now through Tuesday, October 11th. Inside, you'll find 16 pages of store-wide savings, including everything you need for Halloween, snack and beverage essentials, electronics, and more. Plus, save in sporting goods for your next outdoor adventure. Save now through Tuesday, October 11th, with our latest savings book at Bi-Mart, where your membership matters.
Democrats in Washington are threatening our way of life. Reckless spending fueling inflation. Shutting down energy production here at home. A push to defund the police. Kathy McMorris Rogers is fighting every day to stop them and protect Eastern Washington. Cutting spending to curb inflation. Unleashing American energy production. And making sure law enforcement has the resources they need. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
Create a home retreat with a beautiful hot tub or swim spa from Country Homes Power, your spa superstore, offering great discounts, special financing, all with professional delivery. It's time to relax during the Country Homes Power 75th anniversary sale.
4 News Now is brought to you by Carpet Barn.
Coming up on Nightside, a fire blazing through a resort, the destruction of the building, and where the fire started. That's coming up.
Tuesday, hopefully we'll be able to push some of the haze out of the region for mostly clear skies. High temperature of 70, that's our big cool down behind tonight's cold front. That is still almost 10 degrees above average.
I keep waiting for your extended forecast to come out and say it's gonna, oh, here's the drop. Here's the steep drop.
It's got to come eventually, hope.
I enjoy the sun and as long as we can. Just as long as we can.
I don't think anyone's really complaining out there.
I haven't heard any.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.